Good morning, everyone. My name is Dara Bryant, and I use she, her pronouns, and I am so glad to be here this morning with all of you on this glorious spring morning. Our opening words, they come from UU Minister Reverend Arlen Goff, thresholds. We cross them every day, from room to room, from outside to inside and back again. From here to there, from anywhere to everywhere, from age to age. Each threshold offers an opportunity for change, for renewal, for transformation, from what we were and what we are to what we want to be. In this hour and in this place, we cross a threshold from our day-to-day everydayness into space and time attuned to the other, to the sacred and to the holy, into the awareness of new life, pregnant with possibilities. How will we be renewed in this moment? How will we be changed by this hour? How will we be transformed through this gathering of beloved community? Come, you longing and thirsty souls, come let us worship together. Elaine and our soul singers will be teaching us a new song this morning as our opening hymn. Some of you might remember this from when Matt Myers came and led a worship service here before. It's called Courage. And Courage is a call and response song that is adapted from the South African anti-apartheid movement. It was sung as protesters were being taken to jail as a way to learn people's names in the jail cells. Please rise as in body or in spirit as you are able and join in singing.
We'll sing it through once, and then in the echo part, if you'd like to join in with that afterwards, but please try to sing the whole thing. Courage, my friends, we do not go alone. We will go with you and sing your spirit home. Courage, my friends, you do not go alone. We will go with you and sing your spirit home. That's full voice now. Courage, my friends, you do not go alone. We will go with you and sing your spirit home.
I invite you to remain standing for our chalice lighting and doxology. And would Johanna and Maymay please come forward to help us with our chalice lighting and reading, please?
Let this flame be to us a symbol of the wholeness we seek.
Its brightness dispelling gloom, lighting a path to faith and hope.
Its glow reminding us of the sacred bonds that link us to all living things.
Its radiance calling us to cast the light of freedom, Good morning. Whoever you are, wherever you are from, however you arrived here today, whether in person or on Zoom, and wherever you may be on your spiritual journey, please know that for this hour, you are part of this one gathered congregation, and you are welcome here. My name is Jim Hamilton. My pronouns are he, him, and his, and it is my pleasure to serve as the worship associate for today's service, led by our ministerial candidate, Dara Bryans. Dara is currently the sabbatical and intern minister at First Parish Needham. Our interim minister, Susan Milner, is away this Sunday and will be back in the pulpit next week on Sunday, May 11th. First Parish Church gratefully acknowledges the Patuxet Wampanoag people on whose ancestral lands we gather today. We commit to support and honor their history and culture. Please join us after the service for refreshments and conversation in the Harvey Assembly Hall, which is reached through the door here to your right. Just follow the crowd. If you are new, we ask that you pick a red mug to help us spot you, and we will make sure that you get a warm First Parish welcome. I draw your attention to the announcements in the order of service, and also, big one here, today is a day we've all been looking forward to with great anticipation. Today's worship service will be followed immediately by a special congregational meeting to vote on calling Dara as our next settled minister. If confirmed, she would be the 29th settled minister to serve this historic congregation. And that's going back to 1627. So now it's time for Dara and Missy and the time for all ages. So we will go next to that.
All right, everyone, I'm so excited for this. Our time for all ages this morning is going to be a wonder box. I'd love to invite all of the children and youth and the young at heart who would like to come up front and join us here. Come on down, don't be shy, don't be shy.
They're coming. You guys can sit right down in here, okay?
Sorry, I'm gonna just, if you want to put your things down, so you have an
perfect.
extra hand. All right. Does anyone want to guess what's in our wonder box? What do you guess?
A little tiny flute?
Oh, a little tiny flute. That's a very good guess. Does anybody else want to guess? Does anybody? Young at heart can guess as well. Yeah. There might be a scarf in there. Good guess. A flower, right? It's springtime. Those are really good guesses. We could take one more guess if somebody wants to give it a try. You want to guess again? Go for it.
I always wanted to see big real flowers that size.
Big real flower that size?
I would like to see that as well. Those are all really good guesses, but you know what? I forgot that I was going to give you guys a hint, and I forgot. But the hint is that today is the 4th of May. Does that help anyone with a guess?
Here we go.
Alexa! Does anybody want to come on down and open our wonder box? Yeah. You guys got it. There's what? Hold them up so everybody can see. Oops. We got, as people rightly guessed, a scarf. I'm going to take that back, okay? And I'm going to take that. You guys can sit down again. Thanks for your help. A lightsaber? And the
Stand up
skull.
here, Claire.
Oh, we're gonna stay up here if you want.
Right here.
Sorry, I should have been more clear.
Sorry.
All right, Missy.
Okay. Today is May the 4th, as in May the 4th be with you. The Force. See, now it all makes sense? Right? Okay. The Force is a mystical energy that Jedi Knights used in Star Wars movie saga, including the first one that came out, which is actually the fourth one in the series, called The New Hope. In The New Hope, Luke is a teenager raised by his uncle and aunt to be a simple farmer. But Luke wants more from life. He wants to join the rebellion, fighting against the evil empire. The evil empire, I know. When his uncle's farm is destroyed, Luke sets off on an adventure with Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was a Jedi Knight and knew his father. The evil empire, Darth Vader, right? The evil empire. All right, I don't think it's Darth Vader yet, but we'll get there. Not yet, eventually. When Obi-Wan and Luke are on the starship called the Millennium Falcon, Obi-Wan starts to train Luke to be a Jedi Knight. He tells Luke about the Force. He tells Luke, the Force is what gives a Jedi his power, an energy field that surrounds all living things. It surrounds us, penetrates us, and binds the galaxy together.
So Obi-Wan is having Luke practice with the lightsaber, and there's this floating orb that keeps shooting laser beams at Luke, and he has to take his lightsaber, and he goes, and he blocks all of those lasers. Did anybody see this? Am I just talking to people back there? Okay. All right, it's a very exciting, you've seen them. Oh, so you already know what happens. Well, don't give it away, okay? So Luke is practicing with that laser thing, and Obi-Wan keeps telling him, you've got to feel the Force, Luke. And he's trying to defend himself, but it's not working. So Obi-Wan says, he blindfolds Luke, and he tells him, your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them. Let go of your conscious self and act on instinct. Stretch out with your feelings. Obi-Wan wants Luke to connect with the energy field that surrounds all living things, to feel it in his body and to trust that it will guide him.
Okay, so now we need one more person who can come up and act this out for us. Arlo, you feel like you want to do it? All right.
Okay.
So, Arlo's going to have the lightsaber, right? So we're going to cover your eyes up.
Ready? Here, step down
Come down
off the
here.
step. You're going to be here.
We're going to cover your eyes up,
Cover your eyes.
and we're going to walk slowly and not run, because we don't want to crash into anything, right?
Right, you just
And
come
we're
up
going to
with
give you the lightsaber to hold, so
Stay
stay
where
still
you
for a
are.
second. Hold on to the lightsaber,
And now you're just going to be defending. We're not attacking.
right? So we're just going to defend, so you're going to stay still for a second. And then Dara and I are going to go to separate spots. And when we clap our hands, you're going to take 3 steps towards the clapping. How many steps? 3. Okay. So stay still for a second. Awesome.
Good job.
All right. You ready? I can't clap because I have too many things in my hand. It's not going to work. Nice job. Excellent. Okay. You did a great job. Obviously, the Force is strong in this one.
The Force is very strong in that one.
You are really smart.
So smart. Thank you.
All right, go sit down, buddy. You
Oh,
did a great job.
So you didn't feel the Force, you used your eyes. They can go through anything? Yeah.
All right, go sit down with your friends. Thank you.
So when Luke was learning to use the Force, He had to trust Obi-Wan because Han Solo, the pilot of the Millennium Falcon, kept calling the Force a bunch of religious nonsense. But Luke, he chose to trust Obi-Wan, who believed that the Force was real. And maybe, more importantly, Luke learned to trust himself and his own intuition and heart. Sometimes our thinking brains, they can take over, and they tell us that something isn't possible or that it's not real. They know when it's okay when to trust someone because our hearts know that. If we trust our hearts, it knows. And sometimes we need to be reminded that there is a force in our world that is stronger than hate, and that force is love. And in our Unitarian Universalist faith, love sits at the center of all of our values. Love is what guides us and encourages us to trust one another with kindness and care. Love builds connections and friendships. Love is the energy that surrounds us and holds us in beloved community. On this May 4th, may the force of love be with you.
Thanks for playing along with our Wonder Box this morning. We're going to start to sing, all of us, downstairs so you can have the rest of your service. Thanks.
Thanks, Missy. As we enter into our time of prayer and contemplation, I'd like to remind us all that you are invited to bring your own understanding of prayer to this practice, whether it is lifting your heart and your intentions to connect with people and the universe, or if it's well wishes for people in your life and for our planet. Or if, like me, you like Reinhold Niebuhr's understanding that prayer doesn't change things, prayer changes people, and people change things. Whatever your understanding, I invite you to open your heart to our time together this morning. As we begin, breathe in with me. In and out. Let go of the noise in your head, your to-do list, your anticipations, and your worries. There is nowhere else you need to be right now. Please join me in the spirit of prayer. God of our many names and of no name, great mystery beyond our understanding, this morning I lift up my gratitude for this congregation that has spent the past year preparing for and engaging in their search for a new minister. Hold them in love, gently and in wholeness. For their many difficult conversations, for the discernment and decisions made along the way that have brought them to this moment, we give thanks. Spirit of new beginnings, this week has seen the emergence of new roots of connection and of care, roots created by shared meals, open and honest conversations, by laughter and by hope. May these roots anchor us together and bring nourishment to the many tender new shoots of delicate growth. May these vulnerable beginnings flourish and blossom into life-giving connections that help us individually and collectively to thrive. May it be so. Will be held in several moments of silence.
Our reading this morning comes from the Irish poet and philosopher John O'Donoghue's book, Bless the Space Between Us. It is an excerpt from the chapter titled Beginnings. There is nothing to fear in the act of beginning. More often than not, it knows the journey ahead better than we ever could. Perhaps the art of harvesting the secret riches of our lives is best achieved when we place profound trust in the act of beginning. Risk might be our greatest ally. To live a truly creative life, we always need to cast a critical look at where we presently are, attempting to always discern where we may have become stagnant and where new beginning might be ripening. There can be no growth if we do not remain open and vulnerable to what is new and different. I have never seen anyone take a risk for growth that was not rewarded 1,000 times over. There is a certain innocence about beginning, with its excitement and promise of something new. But this will emerge only through undertaking some voyage into the unknown, and no one can foretell what the unknown might yield. There are journeys we have begun that have brought us great inner riches and refinement, but we had to travel through dark valleys of difficulty and suffering. Had we known at the beginning what the journey would demand of us, we might never have set out. Yet the rewards and gifts became vital to who we are. Through the innocence of beginning, we are often seduced into growth. When the heart is ready for a fresh beginning, unforeseen things can emerge. And in a sense, this is exactly what a beginning does. It is an opening for surprises. Surrounding the intention of the act of beginning, there are always exciting possibilities. Such beginnings have their own mind. They invite and unveil new gifts and arrivals in one's life. Beginnings are new horizons that want to be seen. They are not regressions or repetitions. Somehow they win clearance and become fiercely free of the grip of the past. What is the new horizon in you that wants to be seen? Here ends our reading.
This is the time in our service when we collect the morning's offering. This offering goes to support the life and work of this congregation, allowing us to live our values here within our walls and out into the world. I encourage you to give as generously as you are able. Thank you, ushers, for coming forward. There is nothing to fear in the act of beginning. More often than not, it knows the journey ahead better than we ever could. Perhaps the art of harvesting the secret riches of our lives is best achieved when we place profound trust in the act of beginning. I love John O'Donohue. He has a way of putting into words what my heart is telling me but can't find a way to express. Who doesn't want to harvest the riches of our lives? He also has a way of stating profoundly difficult things in very simple language. There is nothing to fear in the act of beginning. So simple, and it makes me want to say a wholehearted yes and to dive head first into every new beginning. But the truth is, beginnings are really difficult, often because they represent change. And as we all know, change can be scary. But I also believe in putting trust in the act of beginning. I believe that putting our trust in the act of beginning is the way that we harvest the riches in our lives. Because without sowing these seeds of change, there are no fruits and no flowers, no riches to harvest. Now, O'Donohue, he doesn't pull punches, and he uses words like risk and vulnerability and trust to describe the necessary components for the act of beginning. Great. Who doesn't love a good rescue venture? And how often are we told to protect our vulnerabilities and to trust despite it all? That's a really tall order. But what O'Donohue doesn't name, that I think sort of underlies all of this, is the depth of courage that's required to actively engage in these words. It takes courage to risk. It takes courage to be vulnerable. It takes courage to trust. Because for most of us, these words spark fear or anxiety, and courage to me means doing something even when I am most afraid. Courage. My friends, you do not go alone. Now, it is no accident that I'm talking about new beginnings today, because we, all of us, you and I together, we're at a threshold of a new beginning as we figure out if we will be a good fit as minister and congregation. In this week, I have spent multiple hours meeting with many of you, as many as I could possibly do, for the office drop-ins, the lunches, the committee meetings, and the Friday fun night. We have started to share some of the stories of our lives, and we've listened, and we've borne witness to these stories. And we've risked allowing ourselves to be known, which is another way of being vulnerable. And we have fearlessly thrown ourselves into this new possibility, this new beginning. I believe that churches are exactly the places that we can risk, that we can be vulnerable, because we do it within a loving community. We can do hard things because we know that we have companions on this journey who show us the way when we falter, and who ask us to offer assistance when they're struggling. We will go with you, and sing your spirit home. Early, somebody wants to talk. Early in the week, After preaching my sermon last Sunday, one of you reached out to me to offer a reflection on my sermon. It was a courageous email because that person offered a perspective that challenged my interpretation. I want to be clear that this email was not hostile. It was direct and it was forthright. It reflected this person's values, and it showed me that they have a high degree of personal integrity and fidelity to their inner truth. It's not easy to confront someone, to disagree with their thoughts and their ideas. It takes courage, and this emailer took a risk because I am new to all of you. And for all this person knew, I might have reacted poorly. I might have been defensive. I might have been angry, and it might have caused a breach in this earliest beginnings of a relationship. But they decided to trust, and they reached out to offer their truth. Our email conversation gave me hope. In sharing honestly, an avenue for conversation, for sharing, for exploration, and for learning was revealed. It showed new horizons that want to be seen. It whispered in my ear that there is a culture here, a culture that suggests an ability to engage in real and difficult conversations about things that matter. It also revealed to me your willingness to reach out and to share your thoughts, to be vulnerable and to take risks. Because it took trust to know, to hope that I would be on the other side, ready and waiting to receive and to bear witness to what you share. This conversation planted seeds of hope and of trust. May our hearts be open to the exciting new possibilities they bring. Courage, my friends, you do not go alone. How many of you all go to the Friday Fun Nights? A fair few. Y'all are missing out. More of you should go. When I first heard about the Friday Fun Night, I was so excited to be a part of it. I was looking forward to getting to spend time with the youngest in our congregation. And when I heard that animals would also be there, I was like, I am in. So Friday night, before our four-legged friends and some without legs joined us, we had pizza and salad together, a little food and fellowship, and I was lucky enough to sit and have dinner with a few of our families and their young children. We ate together and we chatted. We chatted about pizza and the playground. We talked about having brothers and sisters and siblings, and we talked about church. And when the animals arrived, Missy encouraged all of the kids to come down on the floor at the front near the stage in the assembly hall in a half circle. Now, me, not wanting to miss out on anything and seeing the animals up close and maybe getting to pet one or two, I joined the circle, sitting crisscross applesauce. And two of my young dinner companions came and they sat down, one on my left and one on my right. And we made ourselves comfortable. The animal handler, she told us that the first animal we would get to meet was a chinchilla. So exciting. And we sat and we waited, and one of the kids rested their elbow on my knee. And they kind of leaned into me. And they confided, I'm scared. Oh, the delicate, the sweet vulnerability in those two words. I nodded. because we are all afraid sometimes. And we talked a fair bit about how the handler of the animals was really good at keeping the animals safe and the people safe. And then we watched, because we were lucky enough to be seated at the opposite end of that half circle from where she started. And we watched her bring the chinchilla to each person. And we watched as faces lit up with wonder at how cute and how soft and how calm that chinchilla was. Each of the folks in that circle was modeling for my young friend on how to meet a new adventure and a new experience. They saw curiosity, they saw excitement, caution, and care. By the time the chinchilla arrived in front of us, we three were up on our knees, eager to see this amazing creature, to pet its soft fur, and to marvel with each other, eyes wide with wonder. I'll be honest, fear popped up again when the first lizard came out. But the reminder that we were not alone, that we were together in community, supporting and encouraging one another, quickly brought courage. And while some immediately left the room at the appearance of the albino python, my friends stayed, and they gave Patrick the python a very gentle stroke, and they marveled at how soft his skin is. As Friday night drew to a close, I was so grateful for the courage I had witnessed from some of our youngest folks. So often, we teach our children to hide their vulnerabilities, but there is immense strength in the kind of forthright honesty I witnessed. Being vulnerable and trusting that others will gently hold your tender and delicate sides takes courage. In offering those two words, I'm scared, they opened up the opportunity for me to show up for them, to listen to their fears, to offer reassurance, to simply be present so that they would not need to face their fear alone. That is the beauty of this congregation, of this church community. It's a place where we can risk our tender places. Knowing that we're not alone in this risk, knowing that we have companions on this journey so that we don't have to face our fears alone. We will go with you and sing your spirit home. This is exactly what a beginning does. It is an opening for surprises. Surrounding the intention of the act of beginning, there are always exciting possibilities. I'm filled with excitement and hope for this new beginning. At yesterday's lunch, I was asked what my hopes and dreams are for my possible ministry with First Parish. I answered that my hopes are that I can help you all become the church and the community that you dream of. I know that this journey together will not always be easy, that we will travel through dark valleys of difficulty and suffering together. But I also know that there are always exciting possibilities in every beginning that invite and unveil new gifts in our lives. We don't know yet where this new beginning will take us, but I trust that together we can take risks. We can bring our whole selves, our gifts and our strengths, as well as our vulnerabilities and our broken places, to this new venture together. Please join me in prayer. Spirit of courageous beginnings, abide with us as we embark on this new relationship. May the force of love surround us, dwell within and among us, as we do the good work, the good and necessary work of building relationships. And when we find ourselves in the valleys of difficulty and suffering, we ask that our pathways be guided through. Strengthen our bonds, help us to know that there is still love in this difficult valley, if we remember to turn toward one another rather than away. May it be so, and amen. Our final hymn, There Is More Love Somewhere, is also known as Biko in honor of South African anti-apartheid activist Stephen Bantu Biko, who founded the South African Student Organization. He was beaten to death while being interrogated after his arrest in 1977. This hymn commemorates his efforts toward equality. I invite you to rise in body and in spirit as you are able, and join in singing hymn number 95. I invite you to remain standing as we extinguish our chalice. Please join me in saying these words printed in your orders of service, written by UU Minister Reverend Elizabeth Sally Jones. We extinguish this flame but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, nor the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. You may be seated. For our benediction this morning, I offer a poem written by John O'Donohue, and the poem is called Blessing for New Beginnings. In the out-of-way places of our heart, where our thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until we were ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched our desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside of us, noticing how we willed ourselves on, still unable to leave what we had outgrown. It watched us play with the seduction of safety and the gray promise of the sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered if we would always live like this. Then the delight when our courage is kindled and we stepped out onto new ground, our eyes young again, with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before us. Though our destination is not yet clear, we can trust the promise of this opening, unfurl ourselves into the grace of beginning that is at one with our life's desire. Awaken our spirit to adventure, hold nothing back, learn how to ease into risk. Soon we will be home in a new rhythm, for our souls sense the world awaits us. Our service begins when our service ends. Go in peace.
So Donna Savicki of the Ministerial Search Committee will accompany Daryl's husband, to the study while we are going to segue immediately into our meeting, and I will turn it then over to Jean Penvan. I will mention, though, that if you are a member and you have not had a chance to get your ballot, please come forward, and Amy and Joy will make sure that you get one for the vote. And to also reassure the folks online, we have a confidential method of you submitting your votes as well. So